The true price of passion. Utah Jazz supporters are facing the harsh reality of NBA ticket costs. Let's take a moment to reflect on a powerful memory. My very first NBA game. It was 2012, and I was at a local Utah Jazz game, watching Jamal Tinsley orchestrate plays while Big Al Jefferson dominated the paint against the legendary Steve Nash and the Phoenix Suns. I remember my spiked hair, slicked back with enough gel to preserve a panther. I leaned over the icy railing of the upper deck, fully immersed in the electrifying atmosphere as the DJ pumped up the crowd with Pitbull's Give Me Everything and Breathe Carolina's Blackout during every timeout. The bass thumped in my chest, creating a thrilling backdrop to every moment of the game. The excitement in the arena was palpable, as Nash skillfully maneuvered through the defense to sink a crucial free throw. C.J. Miles' desperate shot hung in the air, while Millsap's tip-in was swallowed by the replay screen. In just one game, I experienced a whirlwind of emotions, despair, joy, and then back to despair. That was the essence of being a Utah Jazz fan. I distinctly remember the rush of excitement when I noticed that ticket prices for the Utah Jazz were dropping. I was eager to relive that exhilarating experience. As the years went by, especially after achieving financial independence, I was determined to attend more games. However, as a college student, my budget was tight, and I could only afford the cheapest seats, which meant sitting in the uppermost row. The journey to those seats was daunting. The air felt thin at that height, and the atmosphere grew dense and stifling. Each step felt steeper, and I could see the anxious faces of those who had already reached their seats, watching me navigate the perilous climb. I can only imagine the chaos that would ensue if I stumbled on that incline. Perhaps they should require a waiver before allowing fans to ascend to their folding chairs in the Alps of the arena. From that lofty perch, the trajectory of a three-pointer looks entirely different, almost distorted. The initial shots often seem to veer off course before miraculously finding their way to the net. It's a captivating mystery, and I yearn for that basketball experience. However, the reality is that basketball is becoming an increasingly costly pastime. I felt a surge of hope when I saw Utah Jazz ticket prices drop in the lead-up to the 2022 season. After trading away star players Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell, my beloved team made a bold decision to embrace a rebuilding phase, a rare move in professional sports that involves intentionally performing poorly to set the stage for future success. Utah began its reconstruction, metaphorically donning hard hats as they dismantled their roster, leaving behind a barren landscape. The Jazz chose to prioritize long-term success over immediate victories, aiming to draft the next basketball superstar and ignite a revolution in the NBA. It was a painful but necessary process, a temporary struggle for the promise of future glory. Yet, to become a better team, they first had to endure a period of poor performance. Consequently, ticket prices fell in tandem with the team's lackluster performance on the court. It's a straightforward equation. Poor basketball leads to lower ticket prices. Can you believe that nosebleed seats were going for just $2? Who cares about the matchup when entry feels practically free? Fairness prevailed, and fan support remained unwavering. The arena was filled to capacity game after game. Here's a look at the average attendance for Utah Jazz games over the years. 2021-22, 18,306. 2022-23, 18,206. 2023-24, 18,206. 2024-25, 18,175. With the Delta Center's maximum capacity set at 18,175 for basketball games, these figures reflect a community deeply committed to its team. However, a troubling shift is occurring regarding the expected cost of being a live basketball fan, raising concerns about the future of in-person attendance. A recent poll conducted by Action Network, which included over 3,000 fans, revealed a disheartening sentiment. Many fans feel that attending live NBA games has become prohibitively expensive, with 60% of Jazz supporters expressing that they feel priced out of the experience. This sentiment is not unfounded. Last season, the average ticket price soared to $218, ranking 13th highest in the NBA, tied with the Chicago Bulls. a team with a richer history and a larger market that secured 22 more wins than the last-place Jazz. Numerous factors influence ticket prices, including arena capacity, quality of amenities, market size, demand, and star power, both home and away. Yet, given the current state of the Utah franchise, one can't help but question whether we've crossed a critical line. The Salt Lake City metro area is the sixth smallest market in the NBA. Despite Ryan Smith's assertions to the contrary, Utah remains a small fish in a big pond, and the ticket prices suggest otherwise. Of course, fans can still catch games on local cable through KJZZ or via a Jazz Plus subscription, and this accessibility is appreciated, especially in an era of NBA League Pass restrictions and blackouts. However, experiencing NBA basketball live is something every fan should have the opportunity to enjoy. It's simply a different experience. What's the point of a $3 hot dog when you're shelling out $100 just to get in? While initiatives like the $3 fan-friendly in-arena menus have been met with enthusiasm, the question remains: what good is a $3 hot dog when you're spending $100 just to enter? Most fans will likely attend with at least one companion, be it a friend, child, or family member, meaning ticket prices, food, and those mysterious fees from ticketing apps will double your expenses. I would strongly advise against taking your child on a halftime excursion to the team store to check out a shiny new Ace Bailey jersey. That could easily set you back around $120, and don't even get me started on the additional costs. How many people do you know who can afford to attend 10 Utah Jazz games in a single season? 5 games? 3? And let's not forget, this is the same team that just finished the 2025 regular season in last place. The problem extends beyond Utah's relatively high prices. The Dallas Mavericks faced backlash when they announced rising season ticket prices shortly after trading away their franchise player and superstar Luka Doncic. In an effort to appease the outraged fans, the Mavs pointed out that over 4,200 seats were still available for under $40 per game. NBA basketball is increasingly becoming a luxury that fewer and fewer fans can afford. In fact, ticket prices are rising across the board. The prices for the 2024-25 season have surged by 21.43% compared to the previous year, and this trend shows no signs of slowing down. For instance, tickets for the Knicks vs. Celtics playoff game at Madison Square Garden skyrocketed to an average of $1,900, with the cheapest tickets costing nearly $800. The cost of being a fan is slipping out of reach for the average supporter, leaving behind anyone without deep pockets. The lower bowl is now filled with buttoned-up professionals attending games on their company's dime, rather than the passionate fans wearing Joe Ingles jerseys, Thurl Bailey goggles, and Ronnie Price UVU replica uniforms. It's no surprise that the league faced a viewership crisis last season. With escalating ticket prices, NBA basketball is transforming into a luxury that fewer and fewer can afford. According to the survey, Jazz fans reported spending $500 or more on game day experiences, 30% of the time, placing them third highest in the league. Here's a breakdown of the percentage of fans spending $500 plus on an average game day experience. Toronto Raptors, 38%. New Orleans Pelicans, 32%. Utah Jazz, 30%. Increasingly, it seems that the essence of professional basketball is being claimed by corporate consumers, distancing it from the die-hard fans and starry-eyed children who dream of one day playing for their favorite team. I understand the sentiment that basketball is a business, a phrase often echoed by executives and players who strive to keep emotions out of the equation. As Anthony Davis famously stated, the business of basketball is a business just like any other business. When did the focus shift entirely to profit, even at the expense of the fans? Where did we lose our connection? Think of the kids who shoot hoops in their driveways, from the moment they return home from school until darkness falls. Their basketballs are worn and frayed, and their nets are barely hanging on. Their hands are dirty from hours spent outside. Every player in the NBA was once that child, dreaming of the chance to play under the bright lights, to hear the crowd roar, to celebrate victories, and to mourn defeats. Those experiences should be accessible to everyone. The joy of basketball should not be a privilege reserved for the wealthy. When a fan base feels they can no longer afford to support their team, it signals a significant issue for the sport. Let's stop keeping this game behind a paywall. The harm being done is more significant than you might realize.